I'm 101 years old, and I've learned a few things, not from books, not from school, from living, from messing up, from watching people I love make mistakes I couldn't save them from. 101 years is a long time, honey. I've buried my husband, my brothers, my sisters, most of my friends. I've seen people live beautiful lives, and I've seen people waste every minute they were given. And somewhere in all that living, I learned some things. Things I wish somebody had told me when I was young. Things I'm going to tell you right now, because I don't know how many more chances I'll get. So sit with me for a while. Let me tell you what 101 years taught me. The first thing I learned from my mother. I was maybe 12 years old. It was 1935, middle of the Depression. We didn't have nothing. I mean nothing. Daddy lost his job. We were eating beans and cornbread every night. Mama was washing clothes for rich folks just to keep the lights on. And I was scared. Scared we'd lose the house. Scared we'd starve. Scared of everything. One night I was crying in the kitchen. Mama came in, didn't say nothing at first, just sat down next to me. Then she said something I didn't understand until I was 60 years old. She said, "Claire, most of the things you're crying about ain't never gonna happen, and the things that do happen you'll handle. You always do." I thought she was just trying to make me feel better, but she was right. I spent most of my life worrying about things that never happened, and the hard things that did happen, Daddy dying, Henry getting sick, losing the baby in '58. I handled them, not because I was strong, because there wasn't no other choice. Most things you worry about never happen, and the things that do, you'll handle. That's lesson 1 from my mama, 1935. The second thing I learned almost cost me my daughter. She was 16, headstrong, thought she knew everything, and I was hard on her, too hard. I wanted her to be perfect. Perfect grades, perfect manners, perfect daughter. I was on her about everything, her clothes, her friends, her attitude, everything. One night we had a fight, big one. I don't even remember what started it, but I remember what she said. She looked at me with tears running down her face and she said, "Mama, I just wanted you to ask how I was doing, not tell me how I'm failing." And then she walked out. Didn't speak to me for 2 weeks. 2 weeks of silence in my own house. 2 weeks of wondering if I'd lost her for good. That's when I learned. The people who love you don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to be present. I was so busy fixing her, I forgot to see her. I was so busy pointing out what was wrong, I forgot to notice what was right. When she finally talked to me again, I promised myself I'd change. And I did, mostly. It took years. But I stopped trying to fix her and started trying to listen to her. She's 72 now, calls me every Sunday, never misses. And last week she said something that made me cry. She said, "Mama, you stopped trying to fix me," and that's when I finally felt loved. That's lesson 2. The people who love you don't need you perfect. They need you present. Third thing I learned from my own body. I was 68 years old, 1993. Doctor told me my blood pressure was 162 over 94. Said I was a stroke waiting to happen. I'd been ignoring my body for years, eating wrong, not sleeping, stressing about everything, putting everybody else first and myself last. My body finally said, "Enough." I collapsed in my kitchen, laid on that cold floor for 40 minutes thinking I was going to die. But here's what I learned. Your body will forgive you if you stop punishing it. I changed everything after that fall. Started drinking my beetroot juice, started moving, started resting, started listening to what my body was telling me instead of ignoring it. And my body forgave me. I'm 101 now, same body, still working, because I finally started treating it like it mattered. It's not too late to start. Your body wants to heal. You just gotta stop fighting it. Fourth thing I learned from watching Earl die. Earl was my friend Walter's husband, healthiest man in our church. Doctor said he had the heart of a 50-year-old at 75. Then his wife Dorothy passed, and Earl just disappeared. Stopped coming to church, stopped answering the phone, stopped seeing anyone. I called him every week. Earl, come have supper with us. He'd say he's fine, just tired, needs some time. 3 years later, Earl was dead. The doctor wrote heart failure. I knew the truth. Loneliness killed Earl. His heart didn't give out because it was weak. It gave out because it had nothing left to beat for. Loneliness kills faster than disease. I've seen it too many times. People can survive cancer. They can survive heart attacks. But when they stop connecting, when they stop mattering to someone, they fade fast. Find your people. Call them. Show up for them. Let them show up for you. That's why I call Ruthie every morning at 8 a.m. You alive? Still here. That call takes 30 seconds, but it's the reason both of us are still breathing. Fifth thing I learned after Henry died. March 14, 2003, the worst day of my life. 41 years of marriage, 41 years of coffee together in the morning, and then he was gone. I wanted to die too. For 2 years I barely lived. I sat in this chair and waited for death to take me. But somewhere in that grief, I learned something I didn't expect. You can be happy and sad at the same time. I miss Henry every single day. I talk to him out loud sometimes. That's grief. That never goes away. But I'm also happy. I'm happy I had 41 years with him. Happy I'm still here. Happy I get to watch my grandchildren grow. The sadness and the happiness, they live together now, side by side. I stopped trying to get rid of the sadness. I just made room for both. You don't have to stop grieving to start living again. They can coexist. Sixth thing I learned from watching Doris give up. Doris lost her husband in 2001, and she just quit, stopped getting dressed, stopped leaving the house. What's the point, she'd say. I'm just waiting to die anyway. She got her wish. 2 years later, gone. But here's what I learned. Doris didn't die of a broken heart. Doris died because she stopped choosing. See, living isn't something that happens to you. It's something you choose every day. You choose to get out of bed. You choose to make the coffee. You choose to call your friend. You choose to keep going. Doris stopped choosing, and death came quick. I almost made the same mistake after Henry, but I remembered his words, "Don't stop living just because I stopped breathing." So I kept choosing, every day, even when it hurt, especially when it hurt. Never stop choosing. Seventh thing I learned took me 80 years to understand. The small things are the big things. I spent most of my life waiting for the big moments, the wedding, the babies, the retirement, the vacation. I thought that's where life happened. I was wrong. Life happens in the coffee you drink every morning, in the phone call with Ruthie, in the tomatoes you grow in your garden, in the way the sun feels on your face when you sit on the porch. Those aren't the moments between the big things. Those are the things. If you're waiting for something big to make you happy, you'll wait forever. Happiness is small. Happiness is daily. Happiness is right in front of you if you stop long enough to notice. Eighth thing I learned almost broke me. I had a falling out with my sister. 1972. Something stupid. I don't even remember exactly what it was about, but we stopped talking. For years. I was stubborn. She was stubborn. Neither of us would apologize first. Then she got sick. Cancer. Fast. By the time I swallowed my pride, she had 2 weeks left. I went to her, held her hand, said I was sorry, said I loved her, said all the things I should have said years ago. She smiled at me, and she said, "Took you long enough, Claire." She died 3 days later. I almost missed my chance, almost let her die without saying the words. Forgive before they die. Say it now. Don't wait for the right time. There is no right time. There's only now. The grudge isn't worth it. The pride isn't worth it. Nothing is worth losing someone forever over something you won't remember in 10 years. Ninth thing I learned from watching my brother Raymond. Raymond was the golden child. Healthy, strong, never smoked a day in his life. But Raymond sat. His whole life he sat. Desk job for 40 years. Come home, television, bed, repeat. By 70, he couldn't walk to the mailbox. By 73, nursing home. By 76, gone. Your legs are your life. I do my calf raises every morning at the sink. I get up every 30 minutes. I move because I watched what happened to Raymond when he stopped. Sitting is giving up, and I ain't giving up. 10th thing I learned the hard way. Nobody's coming to save you. Not your doctor, not your kids, not the government, not anybody. You want to be healthy? You got to do the work. You want to be happy? You got to choose it. You want to live long? You got to fight for it. I stopped waiting for someone to rescue me a long time ago. I rescue myself every day with my choices. That's not sad. That's powerful. When you stop waiting for permission, you realize you had the power the whole time. 11th thing I learned from all the things I left unsaid. There's people I never told I loved them. People I never thanked. People I never apologized to. Some of them are dead now. I can't tell them nothing. Say it now. If you love somebody, tell them today. If you're grateful, say thank you today. If you're sorry, apologize today. Tomorrow isn't promised. I've buried too many people who thought they had more time. 12th thing I learned too late. Rest isn't lazy. I spent most of my life thinking I had to earn rest. That sitting still meant I was wasting time. That busy meant valuable. I was wrong. Rest is when your body heals. Rest is when your brain processes. Rest is medicine. I give myself permission to sit on this porch now, to do nothing, to just be. That's not laziness, that's wisdom. 13th thing I learned from watching Ruthie. Not my phone Ruthie, different Ruthie. Destroy herself. This Ruthie watches the news 6 hours a day. 6 hours of fear and anger and disaster poured into her brain. She's 78 and looks 98. Afraid of everything. Trusts nobody. Hasn't had a peaceful day in decades. I quit the news in 1997. Best decision I ever made. Your mind eats what you feed it. If you feed it fear, you'll live in fear. If you feed it peace, you'll find peace. Turn it off. The world will keep spinning without you watching it burn. 14th thing I learned. Find your Ruthie. Not the news Ruthie. My Ruthie. The one I call every morning at 8 a.m. Everyone needs a Ruthie. Someone who checks on you. Someone who notices if you don't answer. Connection isn't optional, it's survival. Find your person, call them, show up, let them know you're alive, let them know they matter. Ruthie and I have been doing our morning call for 15 years. You alive? Still here. That call has saved both our lives. 15th thing I learned from my own body turning against me. The doctors don't know everything. Dr. Patterson spent 6 years pushing my blood pressure to a number that almost killed me. He looked at a machine and called it perfect. He never once asked how I felt. Doctors are human. They make mistakes. They follow charts that weren't made for you. Ask questions. Push back. If something doesn't feel right, say so. Your body knows things the machine doesn't. 16th thing I learned from my beetroot juice. I've been drinking it every morning for 33 years. Doesn't taste good, never did, but I drink it anyway, every single day. And that's the lesson. Consistency beats intensity. It's not about the one big change. It's about the small thing you do every day without fail. The people who transform aren't the ones who try hardest. They're the ones who keep going longest. 33 years of beetroot juice. That's why I'm still here. 17th thing I learned hurt like hell. Sometimes you gotta let people go. Not everybody who starts with you is supposed to finish with you. Some friendships run their course. Some relationships become poison. I held on to people too long, people who drained me, people who only called when they needed something, people who made me feel worse about myself. Letting them go felt like failure, but it wasn't. It was freedom. You don't got time to carry dead weight. Not at 70, not at 80, not at 101. Let them go. 18th thing I learned from watching my mother's mistakes. My mother was a good woman, but she expected me to repay her for raising me, expected me to owe her, made me feel guilty for living my own life. I promised myself I wouldn't do that to my daughter. Your kids don't owe you. You chose to have them. You chose to raise them. That's not a debt they gotta repay. Love them freely. Let them go freely. Be happy when they call, not angry when they don't. My daughter calls every Sunday because she wants to, not because she has to. That's the difference. 19th thing I learned from watching people die. I've been at a lot of bedsides, held a lot of hands in those final hours. You know what nobody ever says at the end? I wish I'd worked more. You know what they do say? I wish I'd told them I loved them. I wish I'd spent more time with my family. I wish I'd taken that trip. I wish I hadn't been so afraid. Death isn't the enemy. Regret is. Do the thing. Say the words. Take the trip. Don't wait. 20th thing I learned surprised me most. You're never too old to start. I was 80 years old when I woke up after 2 years of grieving Henry. 80 years old when I started really living again. I thought it was too late. I thought I'd wasted my chance. I was wrong. I've had 21 years since then. 21 years of coffee, of Ruthie, of tomatoes, of watching my grandchildren grow, of learning, of laughing, of living. 80 wasn't too late. 90 wasn't too late. 100 wasn't too late. You're reading this thinking you missed your chance. You didn't. Start now, today, this minute. Make the call. Take the walk. Drink the water. Forgive the person. Say the words. It's not too late. It's never too late. That's 20 lessons from 101 years of living, from making every mistake, from losing everybody I loved, from sitting in this chair and wondering if any of it meant anything. It meant everything. You know what I want you to do? Pick one. Just one. Don't try to remember all 20. Just pick the one that hit you in the chest, the one that made you think of someone, the one that made you uncomfortable. That's your lesson. That's the one you needed to hear today. Write it in the comments. Tell me which one. Keisha reads every single comment to me on Sunday afternoons, and your words remind me that these 101 years meant something. We're in this together, honey, all of us, learning, messing up, trying again. If this meant something to you, hit that subscribe button. I've still got more to tell you, more stories, more lessons, more mistakes I made so you don't have to. And if you know someone who needs this, someone stuck, someone scared, someone who forgot how to live, send them this video tonight. Don't wait. I almost waited too long. Doris waited too long. A lot of people wait too long. Not you. Not today. I'm Claire. I'm 101. And I'll see you in the next one.